Okay, so a couple of recaps on this, which I'll go through now with you, but let's get started. So hello, I am Mandy from Sunflowers and Doors. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time visiting, then hello, it's lovely to have you with me. And if you're a returning subscriber, then it's always great to hang out with you guys. So welcome back. So this is part 2 of an altered file folder. I've made a couple of adjustments since the last video, and I'll run through those with you now. But basically what we did in the first video was we created the inside pieces, and we created ourselves some pocket pouches here, and we put some tuck spots on these flip out envelopes. We stenciled all the spaces and gaps so it just looked a little bit more interesting. I mean, need to do a little bit more stenciling there. And that's where we were. What I then did was say, right, okay, I'm going to go away and I'm going to put the panels on the outside. So I did that, but I really wasn't happy with how this was closing, because it was closing like this, and it didn't allow me enough space to play with what I wanted to play with there. So all I've done is simply put a score line down here, and that then has opened that up a bit more. So instead of it being like this here, I've opened the score line, flattened it, and it gives me a much nicer close here, which allows me to put more in here. Now the only thing that did was then create a space where I'd already cut and stitched and attached the panels. But because of the stenciling, I think that looks okay. In fact, I really like it. So I'm not concerned about those pieces being shorter. I could add some lace or something to kind of hide those areas if I really wanted to. But for now, I'm really happy. Sorry, this is all my stitching. For now, I'm really happy that that has opened that up a little bit more. So if you haven't yet started yours, what you're going to be looking to do in effect is these spines we created in part 1, you're going to be looking to create those half the size that we did in part 1. So that's where we are. Okay. So we have some leftover pieces of card from the first round of cutting things down. So I want to create some more pockets and some other bits and pieces. So this is what we have. They're all quite dark, but if we flip them over, we've got the other sides. Now, this is the point where we could, if we wanted to, start to introduce a bit of colour. I'm really not sure whether I want to do that, though, is the issue. I don't know whether I want to introduce those pops of colour or whether I want to stick with the... I think if we stick with the dark, it's going to be really, really dark. So I think if we're going to introduce anything, now would be the time. You can probably spot there as well. I cut this too short, so I have got a bit of a lip there, but again, that's okay because I could, if I wanted to, disguise that like that. and put a little pocket in, which is definitely doable. So we could have a little pocket there and a bigger pocket there. Okay, let's go with that. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so I'm going to do this as a gusseted side pocket. Just because it's such a small, skinny, short pocket. I think it might be better. So just going to grab my scoreboard and I'm going to just put score lines here where this pocket ends, and I'll fold those over like that. And that would then go on here like that. It would allow you to pull up slightly because of the gussets, but I would be gluing this bottom piece in, so it would only give you a little bit of lift. So yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Just going to cut a little bit of this off because it's quite wide. And so I'm going to glue these two pieces here and here. And I'm also going to glue the very bottom of our pocket there. And I'm going to pop that on here. I'm going to pull it right down to the bottom so it doesn't matter that I have missed that bottom piece by cutting that a bit short. And with this one, I'm just going to, I think, create a normal pocket. That's because we don't want to hold too much in these, in fairness. So I think I'm going to create a normal pocket and I'm going to pop that one on here like that. I've never tried this type of file folder before, but it just kept being in my head. So I thought I would give it a go, and I actually like it as an alternative option to the ones I normally do. So we've got a nice pocket there, but that's only going to be a really thin, narrow pocket. Okay, so that's the two initial flaps there. And then I'm going to have a look at what we've got inside now. So we've got already these pockets here. So I'm thinking to add a splash of colour, we could introduce some pockets to the front of these smaller pockets, to the front of these panels. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with that. Okay, so let's start with cutting these down a little bit because we don't want the pockets to be quite as big. I'm doing it all in one go, which isn't the best move, but it is typical me. I'm dropping everything all over the floor. I've lost one now, which will be somewhere down on the floor. So we'll worry about that later. And I'm going to put this in here. Now, this may struggle to go through all four of those. Yeah, silly move. Silly move. So again, I'm just going to get rid of those white marks. Like that. And these are going to go on these 4 pockets here. So they're only going to be small pockets, and they're not going to allow you to put much in them. But they're ideal just for little tags or tabs or tickets, you know. So that is going to go on there like that. Then we are going to go with that one will go there, that one there, that one there. So that one there. And this one on our 3rd panel. There. And this one then finally on our 4th panel. There. We've got 2 text spots on these pieces here, and what we could do, if we wanted to, is to add some additional pockets or additional text spots, but I don't think I'm going to. I think that's going to be overkill if I try and go down that route. Yeah, so I'm not going to do that. So as it stands at the moment, the inside has got the 4 pockets here, another 4 pockets here, and 2 text spots. We flip it over here, we've got another 2 pockets. We've still got to cover these sides of the envelopes, but I haven't decided what I'm going to do with that just yet. And then we'll have our outside here. So I'm going to want to do some sort of collage on the front of this. What that will look like, I don't know. I really don't know what that's going to look like. But I'd like to try and put some sort of collage or a cluster or, you know, something that would kind of pop out, and then I can put a label on the front. So we're going to go with something like that for the front, but as I said, I haven't quite decided what that's going to be yet. I'm going to pop these together though, because that's not a bad combination. So that's a possibility. And we've got another couple of pieces of card here. So yeah, that is that piece there. Now I am considering adding some other bits of colour now, because I do have to cover these folder pieces here, envelope flips. So I'm looking for something that might go with that. I do love that, but I think it's a bit too bright, perhaps. Or perhaps Yeah, I don't know, I think it's a bit too bright. There's that one there, which is, no. We've got brown, then we're on the greens, but these are the papers, so it was the card I wanted to use to kind of make that a bit thicker. And I'm not sure that I'm loving any of those. That's not bad. That's quite nice as well. I really don't know, is the honest. I really don't know. I don't know. I did a couple of pieces of ephemera bits and pieces that I, in another video, which I thought I might try to include within this. So that brings different colours in anyway. So it does bring different colours in. And then if I, no, it'd have to be more of the yellowy. So it'd have to be more this type of colour, I think. Or perhaps, right, I'm gonna try and decide this. And, oh no, I think I might have just decided. It's very bright though, isn't it? Whereas that one, I think is pretty cool. That on its own is too bright. That one, yeah, I think that one goes better. So we'll go with that. See, I overthink everything. It's not a good thing. Now, I'm hoping when I cut this, it'll give me enough to do the other flip-out envelope, because they're slightly smaller than the panels, and the panels didn't fit particularly well. So that's what I'm hoping for. So that'll be for panel 1. Let's have a look and see if this will fit. Yes, it will fit panel 2. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're back on track. So let's just take these down a little bit. I love having this thing underneath my desk because it's so easy to just grab and pop back. So they're going to go on there like that. Like that. So I'm going to quickly stencil around this area again, just so that I'm not, I don't have any, that's not a good move, just so I don't have any plain brown showing. The desk is probably moving now as well, so I do apologise if the camera is shaking. Trying to keep it as still as I can. Okay, last one. I could even use some of these cut-offs now to on the front cover to bring that colour in. So I'll have a look when we get there, but that's another option. Okay, oh, didn't do that bottom bit. Again, you can stitch around these if you like, but I'm only stitching around the outside piece, so I'm not going to stitch around this. I do love stitching in projects, but I find sometimes I don't know when to stop and it can be a bit overkill. So just trying to find a balance for me, but you do you. Okay, so let's glue these down. So again, that gives us a much thicker, stronger envelope pocket there. Let's take these out. I made these in a previous video. These are super quick and easy, and I love them. So if you haven't checked that out, they really are quite cool. Okay, so I think that colour complements that really well. I don't have a lot of it left. I have a little bit left. But as I said, I might try to incorporate that into the cluster for the front, possibly. So with these pieces here, I do want to put another pocket on them. I've got two left. So it's whether we go with the colours there to kind of bring it all together, or those there. Quite like both. That's quite a stark contrast. Yeah, that's a really stark contrast, so it's whether or not it's too stark. But I do think it ties them all together, so yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to have so many pockets in this thing, we won't even know what to do with them. Well, I'm sure we could find bits to fill them with. Okie dokie. So we've now got, let's have a look and see what we've now got. So we've got two pockets there, that's 4. We've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 pockets, 2 tuck spots. And we're still going. I don't think we're going to be still going for much longer, mind, but we're still going at the moment. So now we could put something on the back if we wanted to. But as I said, I'm literally now, I feel like I'm just grasping at straws to kind of fill spaces, so I don't think I'm going to do that. What I do want to do, and I haven't done yet, is we're going to put a small just a really small journal in here. And as I said, that's going to be really small. So the idea is that we're going to put it on, not elastics as such, but we are going to put it we're going to put some eyelets in, and we're going to put it in the middle. I'll probably use embroidery floss because my elastics are very, very thick. So I've just put 2 holes in there now. I'm going to put the eyelets in the top here. So we've got one there. And one here. And that's where our little journal will sit. So let's get started with that, I think. I am going to use something really simple for our journal. This is going to be the perfect size. In an earlier video, I created a collage journal cover, which was quite cool, and it was made it out of hexagons. Just collaged hexagons, and it's like a masterboard, and then you could use it for pretty much whatever you wanted to use it for. So I think I'm going to use that for the journal. I think it's a perfect opportunity to use it. So I'm just going to start off by cutting this down because it's too wide. Like that. So that will give us a journal that will fit in there really nicely. Now I can add some bits and pieces to this just to bring in the colours, which I might do, just to bring in some of those colours to it. But I don't want to lose too much of it either, because the whole point was that it gives us the kind of look. So let's start with just getting rid of these white edges. Like that. And I'm going to grab some coffee dyed paper. Okay. Now we can use this, but it's going to be way too thick, way too wide. So what I'm going to do, rather than just cut odd bits off the end, I'm going to work out how much I want for my paper there. Probably a bit less than that, actually, because I don't want it popping out. And that will give me some signatures. So I'm just going to quickly cut off this edge again. Like that. Oh. Yeah, that I think is right. Yeah. I just didn't cut the other one off. So just folding these in half at the moment. Like that. And these will create our signature pages. Okay, and what I'm going to do with this one is I'm just going to fold that in so we've got a flip out piece. And see if that's going to work. It might work, it might not, but... So, they are going to be our journal pages, nice and simple. I'm going to pop those in there like that. You can jazz these up to your heart's content, but they are going to pop in there like that. You're going to need to take a tiny bit off the top, I think, and then that will go in there like that. Okay, so how are we going to attach these is the million-dollar question. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure all my signatures are right, really tight against where they need to be, which is the inside fold. And I'm going to just put a bull clip there to make sure that that stays in place, and a bull clip here to make sure that stays in place. My shaking hands have become worse, so I'm sorry if that is a bit distracting. Okay, and I'm just going to do a really simple 3 signature binding for this. Scissors, where's my scissors? You wouldn't believe, oh, there they are. Wouldn't believe I could lose as much as I do on this desk. Okay. It's a really simple 3, well, that shouldn't be in there. Really simple 3 whole signature, whole 3 hole pamphlet. I'm using the awl because I've got fabric tape on this, so it's going to be a little bit tricky to get through. So all I'm doing is I'm just creating 3 holes. I'm not measuring them. It's one signature. You don't need everything matching. So I've just pierced 3 holes in that, and I am literally going to just sew those in. I always did this wrong. Well, I don't know whether it was wrong, but I always did it different to how other people did it, which was baffled me for a long time, but it seemed to work. But now I'm on the wagon, or on the bandwagon, and I'm hopefully in line with everyone else. So all I've done with this is I have popped my thread. This is waxed cotton. I've popped it through the top piece there, the middle piece there rather, back. So if we think out through the middle, back in through the top, then I'm going to go back out through the bottom, and I'm going to come back in through that middle hole again, being careful not to go through the thread. Oops, that doesn't want to do that, does it? Creating another hole there. Okay, so that comes through there. And then I'm going to make sure one of these threads is either side of that long middle piece. And I'm just going to pull these tight. So that we have a firm signature in place. And all I'm going to do is just put a knot in here. I haven't got to worry about upside down signature pages because it's just coffee dyed paper. So that's nice and simple. If you want to, you can attach little charms or beads or whatever it is you want to attach to that. I'm just going to pop this away. So excuse me a minute, because I tend to have a habit of losing them. Okay, so I can take these off now, and we know that our mini journal is ready to go inside of this, like that. And already you can see the benefits of flattening these pieces down. So I'm going to attach that later, because I haven't 100% decided how I'm going to attach it yet. I think I'm going to do, like I said, embroidery floss, but I also have some thicker elastic, which I might try. But that's our inside journal. Okay, I made a couple of these in an earlier video, or I don't know whether it's an earlier video or a later video, but these provide some additional journal space and some more pockets and bits and pieces. So I think I'm going to use those in here, and I think that they will look quite cool tucked in there. Like that. I also have some of the Tim Holt thingies, which I absolutely love. So I'm going to see whether some of these will fit in. So we've got one there, we've got one there. Go for the next size down, one there. I'm not going to fill all the pockets because that is yeah, I'm not going to fill all the pockets, but I am going to fill some of them. So then we have, I'm going to pop some of these going to be too low there, and that's going to be too tall there, I think. Yeah, it is. So I'm not going to use those, I don't think, although I do love them. Yeah, no, I'm not going to use those. I do have some of these tickets, Tim Holt tickets, so I think these might look quite good. So we pop 2 in there and 2 in there. I do have some of this fabulous tape as well, which probably would have looked quite cool down there, but I don't think it's going to be, I think it's going to be too wide, and I don't want to go down the route of trying to cut that off. So we filled a couple of the inside pieces there with some bits and pieces. I haven't put anything in the text box, but you could, you haven't got to go to town, you could put some, just some plain coffee dyed paper. That's not going to fit, obviously, because it's too big, which was a silly thing to even try. But so you could stencil some coffee dyed paper and have it in them as some extra journaling spots. Got it here ready, so why not use it? Like that. we've got those two pockets there. We haven't put anything in those. Now, actually, these I could get away with in here. So they could go there. And my 3 ones could go in there. Like that. And then all we've got to do then is just attach our journal on the inside. Starting to get a bit chunky now. I haven't decided on a closure yet. I really haven't decided on a closure yet. I'm going to take those out because I think they bulk that up too much. Because the way I folded them. So, okay, I'm going to have a quick think and I will come back to you on what we're going to do with that, I think. So I will leave that there for a moment and I will see you shortly. Excuse me. Okay, so I've decided that I'm going to use some of the thicker elastic just to see what it looks like. We'll give it a go. Nice blue colour, so it'll go with the green. And all I'm going to do is pop it through here and pop it through here. And then I'm going to tie a knot. I'm not going to make it too tight because it doesn't need to be for this type of folder. So I'm just going to pull these down to the bottom so we can add some bits and pieces on those if we want to. Just make them the same size. Don't ask me why, but there you go. And then we're going to pop our journal in there like that. And that will give us our completed altered file folder. So the only thing we've got to do now is just want to do a little cluster piece for the front. And as I said, I don't know whether I want to bring in some of the colours. I just want something on the front that's a bit more interesting than just a blank one. And I might... No. No, I'm going to go with that, I think. Why not? I'll round the corners on these just so that they are a little bit softer. I now love this paper rounder. I hated it when I first had it because I couldn't get it to work. But I had quite a few of you tell me to turn it upside down and do the cuts that way, which I should have probably figured out, but it worked and I absolutely love it now. So there we go. So we're going to go with just a simple cluster on the front, just to break up those colours a little bit, add a bit of extra interest. like that. And as I said, if you want to, you can add some lace or something along the edges to kind of hide where we had that bit of a mishap. I'm just going to try this a minute just to see what this looks like. I love this stuff, but I don't know what it's going to look like. Yeah, I think it's probably going to kind of create where it doesn't need to, so okay, we won't use that. Although if I'd have put that underneath before I glued those pieces on, that might have added a little bit more interest as well. There we go, hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? Yeah, okay. So I'm going to leave it like that, I think. I think we're going to call it, I think we're going to call it done. I think. And then if I want to add some lace or something on the edges at a later date, then that's doable. But for now, I'm not going to put a closure on it, just because it's more like a little handheld folio. But yeah, I'm really happy with that. So let's just take a quick whiz through it, and then we can put it away. So we've got our altered file folder, our front page just decorative, our back page just decorative, and we've got the stenciling throughout. We open it up like this. Okay, we've got our inside journal here, just a little mini plain journal. You take that out, put it in, add it, do whatever. So I'm going to take that out for now while we look at the rest of it. So we have, first of all, our 2 pockets here. We've just embellished those with additional pieces of Tim Holtz ephemera. Then we flip ourselves over here, and we've got our 2 pockets here, just with some Tim Holtz ephemera in. We flip ourselves over here. We've got 2 tuck spots. We've got 2 pockets on each of these. So I'm going to go and I'm going to add that up in a minute. And then we've just popped some different ephemera pieces in here with some extra journaling space and what not. So as it stands, not including the pockets in the ephemera pieces, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 pockets, 2 tuck spots, and a partridge in a pear tree. And that is it. So it probably looks a little bit more complicated than it is, but it's really not. You can take the journal in or out. And as I said, I'm not going to put a closure on here, but you can quite easily attach a closure. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how that came out. So I hope you enjoyed following along that process. It'd be great to know if you managed to get one done. I'll leave it there. So as always, until we meet again, stay safe, be well, and we'll catch up in the next video. Bye for now.